that as long as the people abide by the rules, the people are basically left alone. Once they don't abide by the rules, then they're jumped upon. If you take the example of troops, when troops play by the rules and they do as they're told and they go out and blow people away in Iraq or wherever, they're fine. They're heroes, you know, great heroes, just so brave. When they come home with Gulf War syndrome, suddenly they're not playing by the rules. Hey, you're complaining about this, you're causing us a problem here, and suddenly they're not heroes anymore. And this is the way the system works, the carrot and the stick. And so people are going to realize more and more as this fascist state closes in, its police state closes in, more and more people are going to be affected directly by its imposition. And it's going to have the ironic effect of waking more and more people up to this. And I think that's already happening, you know, because more and more people are being affected by this imposition that's unfolding by the day. I mean, what's happened since 9/11 is extraordinary that people can stand by and watch that happen and think it's okay. But what is it? Problem, reaction, solution. Hey, they've got to do this to save us from the terrorists. No, if you want to be saved from the terrorists, go and knock on the door of the White House and tell them to stop, you know. We are in a situation now, a fork in the road, where we do have the choice of going one way and bringing true freedom to our experience, or going the other way. Not very long down that road, we're going to live in a global fascist state, absolutely certain, because that's the agenda and it's unfolding in front of our eyes.
We are so grateful that you gave us this time on Access TV in Austin, Texas. Before we go, we had some questions that came from people in Austin. Steve, what were some of those questions that they wanted you to answer? Do you have time just to answer just a few questions? Sure, yeah.
What was your impressions of the Columbia and what happened there?
I've not researched that enough. Someone has shown me in the last few days a picture they say they got from the CIA, which apparently has laser beams going up to it as it exploded. But you know, I don't talk about things I have not researched. However, when you look at the symbolism of the Illuminati and their obsession with symbolism, the fact that it was called the Columbia, it can be very significant, because just very quickly, talking about the symbolism, back in Babylon, they worshipped a trinity of Nimrod, the father, Ninus Tammuz, the son, and the third point of the Babylonian trinity was a female called Queen Semiramis. They used to symbolize Queen Semiramis as a dove. When they moved their headquarters from Babylon to Rome, they used to worship Queen Semiramis there under the name Venus the Dove. Venus the Dove was, pronounced Venus Columba, Columba meaning dove. The French for dove even today is Columba. So when a guy called Colon crossed the Atlantic to discover the Americas, history has called him Columbus, Columba, Semiramis. And when you look at the way that the Babylonians symbolize Queen Semiramis, it is a mirror of the Statue of Liberty. And the Statue of Liberty was given to New York by French Freemasons in Paris, who knew what it really symbolized, which was the Babylonian goddess. And what is she holding? She's holding the lighted torch, the classic symbol of the Illuminati, the illuminated ones. Now, as these bloodlines moved up through Europe, as I talked about earlier, they went massively through France and centered in France to a very large extent. And therefore, if you look at the symbol of the French Republic, what they call the goddess of the French Republic, which you can see all over Paris, it's another mirror of Queen Semiramis. You play this technique, PRS, problem, reaction, solution. Stage one, you create a problem. It could be a manufactured virus in a laboratory, it could be an economic collapse, it could be a war, it could be a terrorist attack like 9/11. You then, through a pathetic, unquestioning media, which at ownership level and lower levels too you control, you get through the media, you tell the people the version of that problem that you want them to believe. Centralized control, take away diversity. So any unit of mutual support, or whatever you want to call it, that offers the opportunity for diversity of debate, diversity of view, they want rid of, because they want the central point in the tyranny to dictate the version of life and self that everybody has. You know, it's always the case that tyrannies want uniformity. Look around the world. All diversity is being removed, and even the built environment. You go around the world now, you will go into these cities in previously diverse cultures, and if you didn't know, you could look out the hotel window and you wouldn't be able to tell where you are. This is the reason. Tyrannies want uniformity, and diversity, therefore, is under target and being targeted wherever you look. Eugenics has been with us for a very, very long time. At first, it was open. Of course, you had eugenics courts in America, etc., that were dictating that certain children or families, certain, according to the authorities, IQs, etc., disablement, they were to be stopped from having children. And then, of course, Britain, as usual, was massively involved in this. And the Rockefeller families, the Harrimans, the Rothschilds, all these people were involved in this. And then along came Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, which gave a very bad name to the term eugenics. So what did they do after that? They just changed the names from eugenics and hid behind front names like Planned Parenthood, etc. And they've gone on running this eugenics program ever since. And you know, some very, very famous people through the years, including people involved in the Fabian Society, including Julian Huxley, who was the head of the British Eugenics Society, who's the brother of Aldous Huxley, who wrote Brave New World, very accurate book because he knew what the agenda was. And behind the facade of these families and these frontmen, they want to cull the population. Not only that, they want to manipulate the breeding of the population to remove what they perceive as the lower stock. And they did it before openly, tried to, and now they're doing it covertly. And their big kind of final card, if you like, is for a massive cull of the population. The passage of the years and more research, when I started to realize the nature of this reality that we're experiencing, that made sense in how this structure is playing out. What the system has done is to keep from us the nature of the reality we're experiencing and the nature of who we are in life itself. And in doing so, it has kept us completely in the dark about what's actually happening around us.